That's what's going on. Get Rich's thoughts. This fight brought to you by Resorts World Manila. Nothing compares. And really nothing compares to a good old-fashioned rematch. And this one's got grudge written all over it. Sylvain Potard's not even sure why he's there. He won it cleanly, fairly, squarely, emphatically, he thinks. Jake Butler has other ideas.
Looks to be a little bit of a size difference. Jake Butler looks extremely tall.
He is a big light heavyweight.
Standing next to Potard.
Oh!
Nice takedown. Able to go right to passing the guard. Setting in a little bit of a guillotine. He's got control, chin control.
Butler looking for a knee to the head there, which the size of those knees would cause some considerable damage. And Potard's right hand is there to block it. He doesn't want that happening at all.
Butler's got his right knee to the hip, keeping him from bellying down, as well as the right arm on the inside of between his legs.
I can tell you all Potard is worried about is stopping that left knee coming into contact with his forehead. And I don't blame him.
What Butler's doing really well. Notice how he's got the chin control. It's really keeping his face exposed so he can knee to the face. He's got a nice side mount, or side control here, dropping the elbows to the sides of the thighs.
Potard grabs that left leg of Butler to try and prevent that knee from coming in. It's too close now to cause any damage, but there's space again, and if Butler chooses to.
Butler looks like he's going to probably try and shuck him down. He's working on that front guillotine. What I mean by shuck him down, he's going to snap his forehead back down to the mat. He's clenching the legs, keeping him from using his feet to stand back up. He's going to wall walk. So Potard's looking to put his back against the fence like he just did right there and start to wall walk up.
Still looking for that knee to the head. And again, Potard blocked it. So good defensive work from Potard to prevent what was, for a time there, a real threat.
That's a lot of work, though, to get back up. Notice how Butler keeps trying to grab that wrist control on the left side so he can work the knees on the clinch there, as well as trying to drop down on a single leg and get the takedown. There you go. You saw the knee right there.
Butler works with world champions in the Evolve MMA gym day in, day out. Muay Thai world champions, Jiu-Jitsu world champions. He is himself a wrestler of a very high pedigree.
He was the captain of the Princeton University wrestling team. He's been over here at Evolve, just training with all the other world champions there.
But as Sylvain Potard would say, none of that matters if you can connect with a solid left cross to the chin.
Well, he's already proven that matters. He's looking to do it again here tonight. You can already tell a little bit with Butler. He's stepping off to the left side, staying away from Potard's power hand. So when he throws punches, Butler is going to step off to the left when he throws this straight right to avoid Potard's straight left in this power hand.
Just a little bit out of range, Butler, with his punches. Potard's moving out of range.
He looks like he has a reach advantage, so he's trying to keep him right on the end of his punch. There he goes, punch to the clinch. He's just trying to close that distance, so he's staying outside the range, outside of Potard's range. As he throws punches, he steps in, he tries to get to the clinch.
Nice knee.
What Jake Butler needs to do is he needs to put his chin, put his forehead underneath his chin of Potard. Try and get that body control. So his body lock is a little bit better. He's able to pull him off the fence. Look for Potard to use his judo possibly here to turn him and possibly get a throw.
He's really got that judo upper body, hasn't he, Potard? Just packed with muscle, huge across the shoulders.
I've trained with a lot of world champions in judo, and man, one thing they are is extremely strong and explosive.
He seems wary of Butler's punch, though. Ironically, given that it was Potard's punch that ended their first fight.
I think he's more just concerned of the punch landing as well as getting in the takedown. So he just doesn't want to get caught with something small real quick to end up in this position where he just ended up. What you'll notice with Jake is that the punches really are just a setup to get into the clinch and get to the takedown.
Well, their first fight went into the second round and finished fairly early on in that second round. This one will go into a second as well. What a scene here at the Mall of Asia. Crowd absolutely love the mixed martial arts, and this is a great way for the main card to start the evening. This was in the early seconds. Jake Butler with Heath Sims, the head wrestling coach there in this corner, standing up to the right of your screen. Rich, let's take a look at how the first round went from your perspective.
So far on this scorecard, I definitely have Jake Butler ahead. He earned that takedown. I gave him the takedown. But I also basically have him, not quite yet, but marked for a ground control award there as well. He controlled almost 2 minutes on the ground there, but then the fight went back to the feet, so I haven't quite given him that yet. But he's ahead on the scorecards at this point in the fight.
So Rich Franklin putting Jake Butler ahead at this stage. Just let me remind you, we don't score contests round by round. So that's not like Butler's won the first round and there's 2 to go. What it means is he's ahead in the fight so far. We score the fight in its entirety. 3 judges will do that for us at cage side. Rich Franklin is here to give you the best indication you can possibly get of how things are going from a non-judge's perspective. Still quite a lot of smoke in the air from the pyrotechnics that we had when the fighters were announced. From our position here, looking up into the bright lights in the ceiling, that's quite clear. Not bothering these guys, though.
Jake with a nice shot, gets in, got the single leg, able to shuck him down. Potard's gonna start to use his back against the fence. Notice how he's got his knee in between his legs. Jake just hipped in beautifully. I believe he's got him in full mount there. Pushing on the face. Look for him to start laying some elbows in there.
Yeah, you can tell he's going to look for those elbows as soon as he can position himself.
Big punches.
Got his back.
Potard's going to probably use the fence a little bit to try and bridge and mount him off. He's not really landing the big strikes just yet.
Nonetheless, this is a troublesome time for Potard.
You need to start pushing on the hips, trying to get away, start to get that mount escape. There he goes.
National judo champion in France.
Someone's bleeding a little bit.
Hard to tell exactly who's bleeding. I suspect it's Potard, given the punishment he's taking.
Looks like he's going right, trying to get back to mount. Oh, the ear is bleeding just a
yeah,
little bit.
that's right. Potard's left ear.
Got him flat now. He's landing some big punches now.
Big left hands coming down. I wonder if he'll switch it up to elbows and forearms. The punches are pretty accurate there. 2 hands now. Started off with the left. Both of them are coming in. There's nothing coming back from Potard. Is he going to be able to reply or defend himself intelligently? That's what the referee will be looking for.
He's going back to that chin control. He's trying to open up the chin so he can get the arm underneath the chin for the rear naked choke. You can tell Jake's got really good hips. Potard's having a real hard time escaping this mount position.
Using his weight very, very effectively to keep his man where he wants him. Jake Butler, with all that experience from collegiate wrestling.
Notice how Jake isn't so high up on the body. He's keeping his hips down low by the legs, kind of keeping the pressure on his legs, so it's harder for Potard to actually move left to right. Potard's gonna look to start to get up. Good see chin control again. He's working on that chin control so he can start opening that face up for a knee to the face.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That face is exposed to the knee again, and it's important for Potard that he gets that hand in between forehead and knee.
Got that guillotine in. Oh, lost it. I think Jake needs to put a hook in. There he goes. He's trying to put that hook in a little bit, get a little bit more control of the hips. He's got the 2 on. He's got wrist control on the far side. He's keeping that arm so he can't really defend properly. Potard can't defend. So Jake's hitting him with some little shots right now. This isn't going to really stop the fight, I don't believe. Jake needs to kind of just open up and let it go.
We're looking at 15, 16 punches coming in without reply. And that defense, no matter how hard he tries, is a porous one. And Yudi Shimada is standing over them, watching very carefully as Potard bleeds now from the mouth. Thought he had a chance to get up there, but not with Jake Butler's weight on top of him. That'll take a big effort.
Notice how Potard's putting his back to the fence. Trying to wall walk again. We call that wall walking or cage walking, to try and get your back up against the fence. The pressure that Jake puts into him gives him the ability to get up.
Back on his feet, but this has been a world of pain for Sylvain Potard. A round that he did not want to go through. 1 minute left now.
This is where you expect to see Potard use his judo to kind of get him off the fence. He looks a little tired, though. He said he worked his conditioning, a lot of conditioning for this fight. I've yet to see it, though. It looks like he's getting a little bit tired.
Butler goes for something new, the single leg, to get back down there. It's the last thing Potard wants.
There you go. He's digging that underhook, that right side underhook. He's trying to elevate that Butler's shoulder so he can scoot off the fence.
30 seconds.
This fight has gone on quite a bit longer than their first round did, their first contest, I should say. It finished after 42 seconds of the second round, first time around. It looks very much as we're going to move into a third round. Final 10 seconds.
Potard looking up at the clock to see how much time. That generally shows that someone's getting a little bit tired.
I think they're both a little bit tired and will be very, very happy to take this minute's rest.
Little touch of gloves as they pass by.
Some of the action from the second round, Josh.
Jake's hipped into him right here, so Potard's having a hard time getting his back to the fence. Here you go with Jake laying down big punches. I'd really like to see Jake open it up with more than just fists. See, he's just throwing one punch, and they're not really that hard. He needs to actually make a little bit of space or just throw a little bit harder with both hands or just with that one. I think the ref would have stopped it had he just opened up and let it go.
I agree. If they were crisper or heavier, then maybe it could have inflicted more damage. And speaking thereof, Rich.
I'll tell you what, anybody at home knows that Jake's running away with this fight right now. I have him scored on the takedown that he earned, the ground control that entire round. He's racked up more points, but more importantly, the damage inflicted that he's done here. He's completely taken control of this fight, so having the fight end at this point, Jake would definitely take this one. 5
minutes left for Sylvain Potard to make something of this contest, and this whole point about us not scoring round by round, if we did, then Jake Butler would be 2 rounds up, and really there's no way back for Potard without a stoppage. But that's not how we do it at 1FC. You look at the fight in its entirety, and Potard has every chance to get back in this now if he can do something special.
Let's touch back on Rich here a little bit. What exactly does Potard need to do to actually get the win, just in this round, besides knock him out?
Well, he's going to have to inflict a ton of damage, possibly a near finish. On our scoring criteria, the near finish is the highest of the hierarchy. So if he clipped Jake, nearly knocked him out, and then on top of it did a bunch of damage in the round, he could run away with this fight.
And that's why it's so exciting to go into a third round, even though one fighter looks to have taken the previous 2 rounds in isolation.
You have to remember that the scoring in these fights are designed to make the fighters actually finish the fight. That's the objective. So if Potard in this third round could possibly come close to finishing this fight, and decisively so, then that would definitely supersede everything that Butler did in the first 2 rounds.
Great point. It means that Butler cannot afford to coast in this round with the cushion of a potential victory. Makes it fun for the fans, makes it fun for you guys at home. Not so much fun for the fighters, perhaps.
Just another thing to touch base on that. The first round usually is very close. Nice body kick by Jake. The first round's usually pretty close. So the second round was a runaway by Jake. So the first round you could actually say lean a little bit more towards Jake, but then going into the third, if Potard was actually to run away with it, that's kind of how they're judging this.
Less than 3.5 minutes now for the Frenchman to do something special.
Jake's got him pressed up against the fence in a nice little clinch. Look for him to continue. He's looking to control that wrist there. Continue that wrist control, trying to open up the knees to the body.
Hey guys, march out.
Well, if Sylvain Potard asked Josh Thompson, why are we doing this? What's the reason for a rematch? Then Jake Butler, as we stand, is providing the answer.
We're seeing the exact reason. You know, and I think Jake looks really good. You know, he needs to just open up his stand-up just a little bit more. I think Potard's getting hit to the game, just the one punch in the shot. But let's see if he can actually look to finish. You see, he needed to open it up a little bit more, sell it, feint it. Now he's in a position where he can potentially end the fight where it was last time. He shot a bad shot last fight. end up in this position, and when he rocked back, he hit him with a beautiful shot.
And now Potard's knees are causing a threat to Jake Butler's head, and that's why he's got both hands out there trying to prevent that connection.
Drove him to the fence. It was a perfect place for Jake to be, because this is where the least amount of damage can be done.
Takes away the leverage to throw those knees.
Potard needs to open up Jake's arms, get him off the leg, and make space and get away.
Entering the final 2 minutes.
2 minutes, march him.
This contest, Butler's for the taking.
Potard needs to circle off that fence, try and get Butler to shoot another bad shot like that.
Break.
And Yuji Shimada, who is an absolute stickler for action, separates them, puts them back in the center of the cage and says, get it on with 1.5 minutes left.
This definitely favors Potard in this situation. You know, every time they break, it's forcing Jake to take another bad shot. I think Potard needs to, there you go again. Potard needs to keep his legs away. Maybe snap his head back down so he can start to knee the head again.
Deja vu, isn't it? He avoided the single leg takedown, gets hold of Jake Butler's head, and potentially can damage him with those knees. Although once more, Butler pulls him in to take that leverage, that space that you need to do that away. Final minute.
1 minute left in the final round.
Yuji Shimada says stop clinching the cage. That's illegal. You can put your hands or your feet on the cage. You can walk along it, but you can't grip it with your fingers or your toes.
It's going to be hard for Potard to win this fight doing that, but what I was trying to say was it's going to be hard for him to win the fight by staying in the clinch. We've got 40 seconds left. He needs to really make something happen.
It's going to be tough now. Final half minute.
30 seconds left to go.
It's hard for two big men to work their way through 15 minutes of grueling effort, dealing with each other's body weight and everything you can press against your opponent. And you can see the effects of that now. Both fighters pretty gassed, and it's going to be too little too late there for Sylvain Potard. Jake Butler, we feel fairly confident at cage side here, has won a rematch that he needed desperately to get himself back on track towards the light heavyweight championship. It'll go to the judges. I've been wrong before.
I was actually surprised to see that Potard didn't use more of his judo, and then until the very end when he was tired and slippery. It sounded like when I talked to him earlier this week that he was going to use it.
Just before the decision is made, and as we look at these highlights from the fight, let's just go to Rich and get Rich. I assume you've got Jake Butler ahead.
Yeah, I do have Jake Butler winning this fight. If we were scoring round by round, that round would go to Potard, in my opinion. He had several good takedown defenses. You could argue that he actually scored on a damage inflicted by landing those knees. It's arguable. But Jake did so much in the first 2 rounds of this fight that he accumulated too many points for Potard to even possibly catch up on with the performance of the 3rd round. So overall, I'm going to award this to Jake. I'm assuming that the judges will as well.
All right, Arnaud Lepont, you might recognize in Sylvain Potard's corner, both Frenchmen. At cage side, we have it for Butler. Anthony Suntai has the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. And all 3 judges see it for your winner via unanimous decision. From the blue corner, Jake Butler!